Mississippi Middays. We've got Danielle Morgan, Executive Director of Mississippi Tourism Association. Danielle, good to see you again.
You too, Gerard. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So give us an update on the MTA. What's going on these days?
Well, we've got some great news. We just rolled out at the Capitol a couple of weeks ago about our 2022 numbers. We're excited to report that we had 24 million visitors in 2022, and they spent $7.1 billion. So we're thrilled about that. Our visitor spending is actually a little above 2019 numbers, so that's a really good marker for recovery. And our visitation is almost to those 2019 numbers, so we're getting there, certainly.
Yeah. Well, you think that folks are just motivated to get out and about, having been sort of shut down during the pandemic?
Absolutely. You know, I think that people are definitely ready to go. We're looking at our spring break plans are very robust. A lot of people getting ready to hit the road there. I think also Mississippi's strategic investment in tourism recovery has really paid off. And also, you know, we're a drive state, and people still are kind of in that road trip mentality with flight issues and things like that still going on. So it's a great thing for us.
Yeah. What attracts people to Mississippi? What do they come to see?
You know, I think our rich cultural history is a huge driver for us, as well as, you know, one thing that's hard to beat are our people. I think that's one thing we hear over and over. You know, I had no idea that Mississippi had such wonderful people, and that really gives people a sense of community and belonging, and that keeps them coming back.
Yeah. Any particular areas of the state that folks are more likely to visit?
Well, you know, of course, the coast is a huge market for us, but really we have great destinations all over the state, some really strong areas. But, you know, the beach is always going to be a draw, particularly for spring break and summer. So there's a lot of great things happening on the coast. And the aquarium is ramping up. You know, the New Orleans aquarium's closed for a bit, so we're hoping we can pull some of those folks over to Mississippi to enjoy that.
What are you hearing from your peers in other states as far as the state of the tourism industry?
Well, you know, it's really kind of a mixed bag as far as recovery. We had some really strong numbers of over last year. You know, some of our Louisiana seem to be a little lower than we were on that. So it's really just across the board. Of course, the Southeast, we've fared better than a lot of parts of the country, partially because of our commitment to keeping our economies open, and that's really paid off for us. But Mississippi's, we're hanging in there, and it's really kind of a mixed bag as people are recovering, and it's interesting to see what's working there. You
anticipating an uptick in visits in tourists when the summer months come?
We certainly hope so. We're this kind of, you know, March kind of kicks off the beginning of the travel season with that spring break rush, and then people are planning for summer. So it's looking to be a robust season. We've got a lot of those recovery dollars that were appropriated from the legislature that's going to be driving those markets to Mississippi. So that's starting to roll out right now too. So I think I'm very hopeful for a great season.
Yeah. Anything that you're paying attention to at the legislature with them being in session, bills and so forth?
Of course. We have another round of recovery for tourism. It's pretty much still recovery marketing dollars, but we're also working to hopefully expand that into a little bit of long-term investments, such as, you know, enhancing outdoor amenities and some of those types of projects that will keep our tourism economy growing and keep people there longer. That's part of our goal, is to not just keep somebody for a few hours, but we want to keep them for a few days. And so the more we can invest in that tourism development, similar to how the governor has been committed to site investment, you know, we also want to continue to invest in tourism development to grow that. And it also helps make our community stronger too, which helps us attract more development and talent.
You ever run across folks that come here, maybe have never been here before? They fall in love with the place and decide to live? make it their permanent resident.
We do. We absolutely do. We've seen a lot of that throughout the state. And, a lot of people are also, after the pandemic and sort of the great reflection, as they call it, people are kind of looking for a different lifestyle, I think, in some ways. In Mississippi, we do have a great quality of life. Tourism is a really strong component to that. We're not just really about visitors anymore. It's really about growing our overall communities and working with government and also economic development. It's really a system that depends on each other to grow. And if you look at the communities that are doing really well, they have strong tourism, strong economic development, and they're all kind of working towards that same spirit.
Well, does the MTA, do you collaborate with the Mississippi Development Authority and local economic development organizations? Do you work with them in any way?
Absolutely. That's something we've started doing more of. We weren't always at each other's tables, and so we've now seen that the more we work together, the more we can do to grow and attract and retain people within our state, and also our best and brightest. We want them to stay in Mississippi too, and we want to provide those amenities that they get in those bigger metropolitan areas that all the young people want to do. And so we're certainly working with them. I think economic development is starting to see that tourism can be a great asset to showcasing and branding these communities as well. So I think there's a big shift, and I think it's really positive for our state.
What about private sector organizations, associations, and so forth that rely quite heavily on tourism for their revenue?
Absolutely, certainly. I think the more we can all work together and all be rowing in the same direction is really important. I think the public-private partnerships are really key to kind of what the future looks like, because like you say, it really is, it's crucial. If you talk to a lot of small business owners, which are the lifeblood of Mississippi, a lot of them couldn't depend on visitors. And even those whose businesses may not directly correlate with visitors, they know that it's still stimulating their local economy, which is stimulating their business.
To what extent, Danielle, does the association promote and just advertise out of state to attract tourists to the state?
Well, we really, Visit Mississippi, which is the state tourism agency, they sort of really handle most of the marketing. Our board of directors does serve as the advisory fund for those marketing funds. So we certainly work together on that, but that's definitely a primary goal. But, we have a lot of visitors within Mississippi who are also rediscovering their state and enjoying driving and seeing those things too. So we never want to leave residents out of what we're doing on the tourism space, but certainly we're trying to draw visitors in from mostly the touch states. Those are our biggest markets, the states that touch Mississippi.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point, because folks within the state, when they travel to see other parts of the state, I mean, they're generating economic activity as part of that endeavor as well.
Absolutely. We saw a lot of that during the pandemic. I know I heard people say, man, I haven't been to the coast in a long time, but it was close and, we felt safe going there, and we just kind of rediscovered what was right here in our own backyard. So. Yeah.
And the state is also blessed with a number of very high quality, well done museums as well that are big attractions.
Absolutely. And that's the kind of tourism development I was talking about. If you look back 20, even 10 years ago, we didn't have all of those amenities that really keep people in these destinations longer. And so it's really been tremendous for our state. I would say we probably have one of the strongest museum communities in the Southeast, and they're unique. I think a lot of our museum properties are unique as well. So, yeah,
they are. They tells about the rich history, as you indicated, of the state and the diverse culture, and it's a fascinating culture, honestly.
Absolutely. And I think it is so diverse. And I think I always say there's a little something for everybody here in Mississippi, whether, depending on what your interest is, there's something for you for sure. Yeah, a couple of years ago, we were hosting the show on location at two Mississippi museums, and a couple came through from Michigan that were retired and just touring and knew about the museums, wanted to go through it, and actually approached me and said they listened to the show remotely up in Michigan. Oh, wow.
That was
That's
kind of
amazing.
shocking.
Right.
And so impressed and so complimentary of the state. And, of course, the museums, as you indicated, which are incredible. So it's good to get that sort of feedback from someone that's a long way away.
It is, and we love being a part of showcasing all the wonderful, positive things about Mississippi.
It's awesome. Danielle Morgan, the Executive Director of Mississippi Tourism Association, has been our guest. Thanks for coming on, Danielle.
Thanks, Gerard.
You got it. We're coming right back in the Element Well Studios. Please stay with us.